How about you yourself? Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shah.
According to the Holy Scriptures, Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, is set to bring immortality to the nation of Israel, the elect, via establishing the tabernacle of David. As we talk about the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he is coming to take down this current world ruled by Esau, Edom, and establish a righteous kingdom, which is synonymous with the throne of David. That's scriptural, which is a government that's going to run this world in righteousness.
After this manner therefore pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
A transfer of rulership is coming, and the kingdom of heaven will be on earth. Righteousness will be spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Wickedness will be put down. Eternal life. That's what's promised to the elect. All right, all Israel, but it starts with the elect. And that's how the earth will be governed by immortals, perfect angelic forces who are going to come down and rule on earth. Extraterrestrial bodies will be able to do things that humans do, but in heavenly bodies, like eating, drinking. Did not Yahweh Shai say he's going to drink wine with us in the kingdom? Well, how do you drink wine with a spiritual body? Well, we're going to have out of this world capabilities in those new bodies.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessing and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word of truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today in order to respond to a lesson done by the beloved elder brother, not to Zakba Shalaki, out of GMS South Carolina, the channel is GMS South Carolina 08, subscribe, to the beloved brother's channel and be edified. And what I want to get into, just dealing with our people are comfortable with wickedness, man. And one thing the Lord has done, matter of fact, let's get this. All right, let's get this real quick in the book of Mark, chapter 4 and verse 22, just kidding. So you go here to the book of Mark, chapter 4 and 22. It says, "For there is nothing hid which shall not be manifested, neither was anything kept secret, but that it will come abroad." All right, it should come abroad, and the Lord has shed the light on everything. There was a time, when, these devils, they was able to portray themselves, okay, as the hero. They would portray themselves as the standard of morality. All right. They was able to portray themselves as these humanitarians and these people loving and, as if they, or the ones responsible for all the innovation of the earth. And, if it wasn't for the so-called white man, that narrative, really scientific racism. When you look at these jakes, these simple jakes on this podcast with vocab, they sound no different than, these Edomites that push this scientific racism. Okay, as if the so-called white man, was just this superior, righteous, hero. What would the world do without the so-called white man? And that'd be a deal killer for a lot of our people when they hear that the so-called white man is the devil. That's the deal breaker for a lot of our people, that come across this truth. All right, when they hear that the so-called white man is the devil. Okay, because they don't care about any of the other all right nations. Okay, but when you get to the so-called white man, which lets you know our people are wounded. Okay, our people have a true mental illness. Okay, to where they favor the so-called white man, no matter how wicked, no matter how much wickedness comes out on this devil. You look at all the wickedness that has come out on the so-called white man, and what's coming out right now, real time. You look at the wickedness, man. This man has been linked to PDF files. This man has been linked to XCX trafficking, the poison in the food, the fake this, the juice, the whole this devil was able to put juice in everybody, right? Turn the earth to a death count with this whole juice, with this whole demic, scandemic. Okay, you look at this man's history, present, and what he plans on doing, man. This is absolutely wicked, man. Okay, what he did to us as a people, even beyond slavery, man. Okay, you look at the enchantments he put on Jake, man, the chemical warfare with the crack, man, all this wickedness that this man has done, all right, and our people, because you go into the psyche of our people, okay, because you go into Christianity, it's just all about forgiving the so-called white man. That's really what Christianity boils down to, the so-called white man, all right. It pushes Edomite superiority and forgive the so-called white man no matter what. Forgive Esau no matter what, man. Christianity does a lot of, damage, okay, mentally to Jake, man. That's a major psyop with this Christianity, man. Him painting himself over the images, man. But all these things come abroad. This man get to paint himself as the Messiah, and all this information showing that even the scriptures, you see, that the Messiah was dark-skinned. The true Israelites were people of color. Okay? They don't fit none of the prophecies of the people over there in the land. Okay? But it's just meant for most of our people to be lost, man. So no matter what comes abroad, no matter how, how much truth comes out, okay? No matter how much evidence comes out, no matter how much information come out, hell, they released the Epstein files, and niggas still love the so-called white man. This nigga is all right with niggas, man, because our people have gotten so comfortable, all right, with wickedness, man, and our people's self-esteem is so goddamn low, man, that they can't see the earth functioning without the so-called white man in charge, man. So let's go here, because this is why this is only for a remnant. The Lord has the remnant in a completely different spirit than the rest of our people, man. Okay, because our people are afraid to step into a ruling class mentality, man, because it comes with accountability, discipline, patience. Okay, being responsible. All right, our people would rather be a goofy nigga in Esau kingdom than step into a ruling class mentality, man, in which we was meant to be. Okay. Romans 11:7 says, "What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have attained it, and the rest were blinded." All right, so there's a remnant that has attained the truth, man, and they see everything for what it is, man. The so-called white man is a problem of the earth, man. Okay, yes, 2/3 of our people are a problem, but the problem of the planet Earth is Esau Edom, and 2/3 are a creation of Esau Edom, man. Okay, they're a product of the rulership of Esau, man. Okay, street niggas haven't been around forever, man. Young niggas, young hoes, these things, these concepts, okay, these cultures didn't exist forever, man. Okay, this is a creation of Esau, and 2/3 are a problem. They're going to get judged for continuing on, following in the wickedness of the devil, man. You see? But the so-called white man is the problem of the planet Earth, man. Okay? So let's go from here. All right? And here it is. The Lord has revealed Esau Edom for what he is, man. He is the wicked. Okay? He is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Ain't no doubt about it, man. Okay, and then look at what this nigga got planned coming up. That's the thing. Like Jake just not in tune with nothing. Christianity has our people so goddamn dumbed down, man. Okay, there's no one that's more lost on the planet Earth, okay, than a nigga Christian, man. You see? Let's go to 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed. Okay, which is Esau, man. Okay, this man runs the earth in the energy of Satan, man. Okay, Baphomet every goddamn where. Satanism is cool. Okay, you got the Baphomet statues are just all over the place, man. Okay, 666 over everything. The man of sin, the beast, the number of the beast is every goddamn where. Okay, PDF files, man. All right, Epstein is just a glimpse of what these devils do, man. There's plenty of Epstein Islands, man. Underground freak offs, man. What this devil is on, man. All this exposure about Hollywood. Look at the earth. Okay. Alphabet. Who made all right same-sex marriage a thing, man? But these are Christian, but they don't have no problem with Edomites. Okay. There's no way you can believe in the Bible and be cool with Edomites, man. Okay. But this man has been revealed on every level, man. Okay. This man wants to depopulate the earth. All right. He wants to get rid of over 7 billion people. Put a device in you, okay, and track your thoughts, your whereabouts. You know, come on, man. Okay, 2026, and the nigga is still, all right, vouching for Esau, man. And that's why the Lord just gonna have Esau be like a madman on you niggas, man. Jacob trouble, the Lord is gonna whoop you niggas ass with Esau, man. Okay, he's gonna show you, you're gonna feel that this nigga's the devil. Okay, by pain. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Okay, so here it is. This man has been revealed through the prophets, man. Okay, but nigga don't even stick around long enough to go into the evidence of Esau. As soon as they hear that the so-called white man is a devil, a nigga is offended, man, and wants nothing to do with the truth, man. Okay, nigga don't even stay around long enough to get the evidence on this nigga, man. Okay, it says it shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, which that's going to be Yahushua in the chariot, man. So the Lord will reveal this man through the prophets, which is the mouthpiece of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Okay, and then there will come a time when eventually the Lord will send Yahushua back to judge this man in the midst of this war. It said, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, man. Okay. And lying wonders, man. This man comes after the working of Satan. Okay, Esau Edom rules the earth, possessed by the spiritual demon Satan, man. That's why the earth is so demonic and dark. Okay, look at the music that's allowed on your radio, man. Look at what your children are exposed to, man. Okay, hell, your children getting kidnapped. That's just a normal thing. Millions of children go missing. They're just a normal part of society, man. No one shrugs. Okay, then it's all under, okay, the watch of the so-called white man. Okay, this devil has been in war 90-some% time since he's been in power. Okay, this man does coups. This man creates famines. Okay, this man tests out, all right, the juice on you know, on whole nations, man. Okay, Bill Gates over there just testing over there in Africa with the juice, man. The whole AIDS, man. All right. It was just an experiment of the devil, man. Okay. Verse 10, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth that they might be saved, man. And our people are deceived by this, man. You know, they really look at Esau as okay. You know, They look at the so-called white man as okay. They look like okay. It's a few of them that's on, but for the most part, they're okay. Okay, they're deceived, man. And our people, they love not the truth, man. Okay, our people want to stay oblivious to truth, man. Okay, and they're cool with the earth functioning the way it is, man. Okay, and that's a problem, man. If you don't see that if you don't see that the so-called white man is a problem, okay, and if you don't see that this current society is completely against the Most High, then you are part of their problem, man, and you're going to be judged according to being part of the problem. Okay, it says, and for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Okay, so our people are still into Christianity. Okay, our people are still ready to go vote. Okay, niggas still hiding Easter eggs, man. Niggas are just in the delusion, man. Okay, niggas are just in a complete delusion, man. It says that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, and this is talking to you Israelites, man. Damn, which is punished, but had pleasure in unrighteousness, man. And our people have pleasure in unrighteousness, man. They love this current world. They love the world of Esau, man. Okay, they don't care about this man being the wicked. They love the world of Esau, the age of Esau. They're okay with it. As long as they got their little personal convenience and perks, and they can watch the game, play the PlayStation, go get a pizza. Okay, a nigga is cool with this man running the earth in complete wickedness, man. Okay, so let's go here real quick. All right, to these simple niggas, man. Like I said, this is a response to a video done by, the beloved brother. All right, Elder Manata Zakba out of GMS, South Carolina. All right, the channel GMS South Carolina 08. Subscribe. All right, and be edified. Now, let's play this, man, with these simple niggas, man.
Bro, you can't tell me that white people is the devil and all that, because more white people, I'm more fearful of a black person than I am a white person all day.
They have the Bible and they present it in an authoritative way and giving you more scriptures, answering questions better than your pastor who you've known for years and decades.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? That's the way it's presented.
Yeah. Guys that give their testimony. I had one guy say they came over in his living room and he was sort of a nominal Christian. Mm-hmm. So he knew what was up, but was like mildly interested. But these two IUIC members came, and he said they were just flipping through the Bible, read the passage, flip through the Bible, read the passage, answering every question like that. And he said he was dazzled. He said he had never seen a pastor do that. Yeah. He became the Hebrews Light, and he was in there for 7 years.
Well, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me when you have questions about the Bible, but then someone is answering the questions with a precept in the Bible, that's a problem? Do you see how off and lost? This is how you know this just for the elect, man. That don't make logical sense. Okay, if I've been going to a mechanic for 20 years, okay, and he never gets my car right, okay, I have problems with the same car, okay, it's 5 years, I had the same problem with the car, a new problem with the car for 5 years, but then I take it to another mechanic and he tell me, he break down everything was wrong with it, he fix it, okay, and I don't have no problems. Am I gonna go back to the mechanic that couldn't get it right? They couldn't tell me nothing was wrong, was guessing at the problem. Okay, do you see how that don't make no sense what they're saying? Because that's how I came in the truth, because I had questions, and the brother Yashima, we was on the way to Memphis, and because his son used to play on the little league team, so we on the way to Memphis for a game, and it was a 3-hour ride from Jackson. So every question I had about the Bible, okay, he broke down from Jackson to Memphis for 3 hours. Then on the way back, another 3 hours. He broke every question I had down in the Bible with a precept. I was sold. It wasn't because it was the Bible, because this the Bible. Because I thought I was a Christian. I thought I believed in the Bible. I didn't know about the Bible. So as he's reading out the Bible, shit, that's what the Bible say. You know, that's what the Bible say. He asking every question with a precept. Okay. So when you go here, let's get some precepts, man. I know that's how I came in. You know, like, damn. You see, and it just felt like I was being quenched. You know, it was just filling that void I had when it came to understanding the scriptures, man. Because I had a void, you know, when I was in Christianity, man. I just had a void, like, man, this can't be, you know, I'm missing something, man. But their brothers is just like he was just filling that void. Every void I had in the spirit, he was filling with a precept, man. You know? So let's go here because the scriptures say, all right, let's go here real quick. You see? It's Isaiah 28. All right, this is Isaiah 28:13. It said, but the word of the Lord was unto them, precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line. All right. Line upon line, here a little and there a little. That let me see there. Yep. It said that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. So when you go into the scriptures, how you learn is precept upon precept, line upon line, because it's a mystery, man. You gotta put the puzzle together, man. The Bible is a puzzle that's put together, okay, through the Spirit. Okay, you got to go. You can go into Genesis and break something down in Revelation. Okay, you can go into Deuteronomy and it breaks something down in Jeremiah. The Bible breaks itself down, and the Lord has put the Spirit on particular men to decode it, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, man. And we learn so much more about the Bible in their format. Okay, so there's a man that's answering your questions about the Bible, even though IUIC is off. Okay, you see, we know IUIC is off. Okay, but at least you'll be in a better predicament than being on vocab, all right, podcast, man. You'll know you're an Israelite. You'll know about the tribes. You'll be on to something, because a lot of people, IUIC be the first camp that they come in contact with, then they come into the real truth, man. Okay, but this is the precept I want. Isaiah 28:10 said, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, all right, line upon line, here a little and there a little, for with stammering lips and with another tongue will he speak to his people, man. Because our original tongue is the Hebrew, but now as we speak the English, the Bible has been, converted to the English. Okay, translated to the English. Now we speak, okay, and teach our people in another tongue. Stammering lips, they're not going to be the most eloquent speech. Brothers have, a sense of humor, and you see. So the Lord has it to where precept on precept, and that's how you unlock the mystery. That's the way you break these things down, line upon line, here a little and there a little, man. Okay, but it's only for the elect, man. You see, because here it is. There's no answers coming out of church. Then no, and it lets you know. Here it is. We in the midst of all this prophecy, man. Okay, and you're still talking about just the Hebrew Israelites. If that's the problem of the earth, the small hat's going to get all you dumb, stupid niggas nuked. Okay, because of this war. Okay, the small hat's over there starting the war. It's going to get all you dumbass Americans nuked. Okay, and your number one concern is Jake on the corner reading the Bible. We the biggest problem on the world. We're the biggest problem on earth, man. Okay, men reading the Bible and breaking the Bible down. Like I say, we don't agree with a lot of these camps, man. All right, but a guy in the IUIC, okay, on the corner teaching the Bible, okay, is nowhere near close to the Edomites that's ruining the earth, man. Okay, and have started the Third World War. They hear that Esau can start the Third World War. Okay, and this nigga is cool. All right. But Jake in the IUIC reading the Bible, that got to be addressed. Something got to be done about this. Okay. Show y'all people have a deep mental illness when it comes to the so-called white man. Isaiah 29:9, it says, stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. Okay, and what about people drunk with, man? The lies of this age, man. Christianity is a major, all right, drunkenness for our people, man. Spiritual drunkenness for our people. That has our people just staggering all over the place, man. Black culture, westernization, man. Okay, our people are staggering. They're drunk off this, man. Okay, Edomite supremacy, man. Okay, Jake really believe in Edomite supremacy, man. They look at Jake. They look at Esau as being superior. Okay, and that's part of Christianity. It gives Esau this complex. All right, it gives Jake a complex to where he's inferior to Esau, man. Okay, when they see the Edomite, they see Jesus, man. Okay, they see God, the God of Christianity, man. Okay. Verse 10, it says, for the Lord hath poured upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers have he covered. Because he said, look, they was breaking down precepts. They was answering questions that the pastor never answered. Okay. Even if, you don't come into the truth, you should know, okay, that nigga there don't know what he talking about. Okay, I don't agree with this, but that nigga there don't know what he's talking about. The pastor. Okay, Jake get offended at, the so-called white man being the devil and go right back, okay, to the vomit, man. You see, it says, and the visions of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. Yeah, because these pastors are supposed to be learned men, theologians and seminaries and degrees and doctrines in the scriptures, supposedly. It says, and he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. Yeah, it's sealed to him. Okay, he's not of the elect, he's not a prophet. Okay, it says, in the book is delivered to him that is not learned. So you go to someone else in the congregation or your Christian church and ask them something. He'll say, oh, I'm not learned. It said, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned. So outside of the prophets, man, there's no answers when it comes to the Bible, man. Okay, the pastor, he's learned. He don't know what the hell going on. The congregation, they simple as they say, I'm not learned. I didn't go to theologian school. That wasn't my calling. So they don't know. They can't answer you nothing out of the Bible, man. So you just going into here it is. The religion is based on the Bible. Christianity is supposed to be based on the Bible, but no one can break down the Bible. God damn. Okay. That's like going to school to learn Spanish, but nobody speaks Spanish. You see how off Jake is, man? Okay, let's go and play some more of this, man.
He was so impressed by their abilities,
Hebrew Israelite, though.
Say what?
I never was a Hebrew Israelite, though.
You missed out.
I was already.
We didn't miss out on it. You could have said, "Here's my fringes. I got my old fringes."
But they did. The first time I seen that was in Atlanta, Georgia. They was on the corner beating the drum and all that. So I'm like, what? And it reminded me because I got like that. Well, I used to have that. I have a new heart in Christ, right? But I used to have that revolutionary heart, and I want to be a Black Panther, all that type of stuff. But that comes with identity crisis.
Yeah, that's it.
And they caught my attention. But then I was like, hold on, you talk about white people. Nah, bro, you can't tell me that white people is the devil and all.
That was a deal breaker. You talking about white people. That was a deal breaker. And it's always the blackest niggas, okay, on this side of the equator that got a problem with the Bible condemning the so-called white man. Okay? And if you don't, it's 2026, man. If the so-called white man ain't on your radar as a problem, man, you out of there, man. Okay, but it's a nigga 2026 talking about a new heart in Christ, man. That nigga out of there, man. Okay, but that was the deal breaker for this nigga here, man. The so-called white man being the devil. Don't worry about immortality. Don't worry about a righteous rulership. Don't worry about the earth being turned back into a paradise. Okay, don't worry about the earth becoming safe for children. Okay, you see, don't worry about, as a people, we're going to be rulers. Okay, men are going to be kings. Okay, our brethren, our kinsman, Yahushua is going to be King of kings, Lord of lords in the earth. Don't worry, look, bypass all that. The so-called white man, the devil, I'm good. Jake good with it. You see, that's what Jake got a problem with, man. All right, a major mental illness with niggas, man. Okay,
because more white people, I'm more fearful of a black person than I am a white person all day. And then remember, I told them that on the corner, we was out there, and they like, "Oh, you more afraid of a white person than your own people?" I said, "No, because statistics show, upon my independent research study,
and he's finna go into the statistics, and he's finna go into that. He didn't go into it. Vocab didn't let him get into it, but he was finna go into that scientific racism. Okay, which makes it seem like Jake is just inherently violent, man. Okay, like the environments, okay, that was created for Jake to be in. Okay, because you look at our people, it's a result of the crack epidemic. That was chemical warfare. Okay, and this ain't justifying Jake for their current behavior, man, because now it's too much information out there for Jake to still be on that dumb shit, man. Okay, and we get on Jake, man. Okay, well, we can't take away the fact, all right, that the niggas that everybody complains about, the nigga and the nigga woman that everyone complains about, all right, comes from what, man? Okay, a creation of Esau Edom, man. Okay, we can't act like this man didn't use chemical warfare on Jake, man, with the crack epidemic, man. Okay, the government assistance, man. Here it is, they talk about the welfare queen. Well, who created the welfare queen? Okay, Jake had thriving communities, man. Who invaded, all right, the Jake family structure? Okay, with feminism, okay, with government assistance. Who created that, man? Okay, and like I say, 2/3 are a problem, and they're going to be judged, man. Okay, well, you have to be out your goddamn mind not to consider Esau's role in the wickedness of the planet Earth, man. All right, especially when it comes to the tribes, man, because he invested a lot of time, resource, and effort into making our people, okay, to be beasts, man. And he gives them the resources to do it. Okay, who you think runs the music industry, man? Jake is just simple. It's 2026 and Jake is just too goddamn simple, man. Let's get some precepts, man. Okay, but the Lord got it set up, man, where you niggas finna see what Esau really is, man. Okay, you finna the way the Lord, and you know a black ass nigga like that, man. Esau finna tear the shirt off them niggas, man. You know the AI gonna pick up on his black ass, man. Come straight to that nigga, man. So let's let's go here, man. This is Proverbs 17 and 15. It says, "He that justified the wicked, okay, and he that condemneth the just, even they are both abomination to the Lord," man. And our people, that's and the only thing Christianity teaches Jake is to justify the wicked. Okay, to be a human shield for Esau. That's the only thing, all right, our people get out of Christianity, man. Okay, but then they'll condemn the just. Men teaching the Bible is the problem. That needs to be discussed, okay, and addressed. But the way that the so-called white man runs the earth, that's not a problem, man. Okay. Nah, man, our people are in complete opposition. Our people, they're allies with the op, man. And that's why the Lord finna treat Jake like he finna treat Jake, man. Okay? That's why the Lord finna do Jake how he finna do Jake, man. Okay, because that's a goddamn shame. Okay, that after all this, okay, after all this just came out, man, and Jake still come to the conclusion that the so-called white man is all right, man. Okay, Proverbs 29 and 27 says, "An unjust man is an abomination to the just." Esau is an abomination unto us, man. Okay, as we're learning righteousness, man, as we're becoming new creatures, man, we develop a disgust for this world, man. This world is filthy, man. The nigga that run is a problem, man. This man is an abomination unto us, man. Okay, and he that is upright in the way is abomination to the wicked. So just like this nigga's abomination to us, righteousness is an abomination to Esau, man. Okay, that's why it's going to be a clash. Okay, between good and evil. You see, and the ultimate clash gonna be Yahweh Shai, man. He's coming to clash, all right, with this wicked abomination of a kingdom, man. And he's coming to wage war in righteousness, man. Okay, this man is a problem, man. You see, well, I say, but you niggas are so wounded. Let's go here. Let's get a few more. All right, it's Jeremiah 30. All right, it's Jeremiah 30 and 30 and 12 said, "For thus said the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, thy bruise is incurable and thy wound is grievous, man." All right, and our people have an incurable, all right, wound, because outside of Yahweh Shai, there's no cure for our people, man. You see, that's why Yahweh Shai is known as a physician, man. Hey, he's healing our mind. You know, our spirit is being healed in Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, to where no, we look at we don't have no inferior complex about ourselves when we look at this devil, man. We don't see ourselves as inferior. We don't see this man as being innocent, okay, the superhero, okay, superior. No, we don't look at Esau like that, man. Okay, this man is an abomination. He's a base man. He don't got it. Okay, and the earth needs new rulers, man. Okay, but Jake, that has this wounded mind frame, this wounded way of thinking, man. They don't think like that, man. Okay, Christianity, nigga culture has just beat Jake down to nothing, man. The matriarch, okay, auntie babies, niggas like that, they incurable, man. Okay, said there is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou has no healing medicines, man. Okay, so there's nothing on this earth that's healing Jake, that's healing our people, man. They only get worse. Okay, the wound only gets worse. As the Heavenly Father says, man, putrefying sores, man. The whole head is sick. Okay, it says, all thy lovers have forgotten thee, they seek thee not. Yeah, and our people love the so-called white man. Our people love everything but the truth. You know, our people tap into everything, the ancestors. All right, Jake tried to be a Muslim. Jake tried to be Egyptology. Okay, these are the ways of the heathen, man. But Jake loved the ways of the heathen, and more than anything, they love Esau, Edom. That's they love him, man. Okay, Esau in this age, this current rebellious anti-Messiah age, our people love it. Okay, it says, for I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of a cruel one. Esau, man. A nigga that think like that is a result of the wound of the enemy, man, this captivity. Okay, you know, generations of captivity, then the enchantments. Okay, dealing with the music, and you see the media, the TV, the food, all these different enchantments that's on Jake, man. All right, the drugs. It said, for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. Why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee, man. You know, and the Lord allowed the so-called white man, you know, to really do a number on us as a people, man. But there's a remnant whom the Lord will begin to heal. Okay, there's a remnant whom all right, the Lord will begin to heal from these wounds, man. You know, we're being revived back to life, man. Okay? And this is what it's leading up to, man. See, Jake is offended at things like this, man. Because Jake don't got no ruling class mentality, man. That's another thing. We're being revived back to their ruling class mentality, man. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they devoured, they shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Okay, all that prey upon me will I give for a prey. You see? So now, man, the Lord, all right, he's getting ready to enslave the earth and put his people back in power, man. He's getting ready to enslave all these heathens and put his people in power, man. Okay? And set up a righteous government forever in the earth, man. But that's too high for a nigga, man. Okay? So that's the point. Just wanted to get into that, Lord will. All right, you brothers and you sisters edified once again. We give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem Kapadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elder GMS rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.